Hi, this is Ryan Rosenblatt from Stars and Stripes FC here, looking forward to the United States' World Cup qualifier this Friday against Jamaica. We have 5 key questions for the US going into this match. 1. What kind of form is Clint Dempsey in? The Americans' best player spent most of the summer bickering with Fulham. Will he transfer, will he not? As a result, he didn't take part in full preseason training. He didn't really get into any matches. He has not played a competitive match in 2.5 months when the US last met for World Cup qualifying in early June. Now, you're talking about a player here who's going to be leaned upon. He may not start because he hasn't played recently, he may come off the bench, but he's going to play a part however he does. You're going to lean on him, and he hasn't played in 2.5 months. It's not exactly a good sign, and you know what? The US has no idea what they're going to get out of him. I don't think Clint Dempsey knows how he's going to play. Major thing to watch for there. Number 2, can the US play with width? Now this has been a major problem for the US ever since Jurgen Klinsmann took over. They play very well out the back now, they keep the ball on the ground, they control possession, but it's all through the middle. They don't play out on the wings. Now they've got to play on the wings against Jamaica. It's really the only way you can kind of mitigate their speed, get them out wide, make them stretch in, out, and you can keep the ball and control it that way. If you try and play through just the middle, they'll close you down far too quickly. Now, on the left, the US should be okay. Fabian Johnson is a very good left back. He will get forward, he will be able to play with width. Szczerbowski, whether he starts or comes off the bench, he'll be able to do the same. But on the right, Steve Cherundolo's been very conservative under Klinsmann. He hasn't really gotten forward, not like the way he used to under Bob Bradley, and the US just doesn't have a right wide midfielder. They haven't had one for years now. They really need to find one somewhere. They don't have one. Question number 3. How will the US handle Jamaica's speed? Now think back to last year's Gold Cup quarterfinal when the US played Jamaica. The US won 2-0, they were the better side, it was a deserved win. But back in the first half when it was 0-0, Jamaica had 2 great chances on the counter-attack. Luton Sheldon missed them both. But they had the chances, they could have gone up 1-0, it's a very different match then. This Jamaica team can run. Anyone who watches MLS knows Dane Richards can fly. Ryan Johnson can run just fine. Omar Cummings, he can also play. Shelton, another guy who's fast. They're going to run at this US defense. And with Jurgen Klinsmann, he likes to pressure up higher. He likes to play a higher line than they did under Bob Bradley, like they did in last year's Gold Cup. That makes them more susceptible to the speed. That means Carlos Bocanegra, Jeff Cameron, Clarence Goodson, whoever's in that center of defense has to really marshal that defense, make sure they have a very good line and they don't get caught holding a man onside, and they're able to turn and run. They're going to have to. This Jamaica team is very fast, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to look to counter and use that speed to exploit the US's high line. Number 4. Can Jermaine Jones avoid a red card? Now you laugh, and it is part joking. But you have to be a little bit honest and a little bit worried about this one too if you're the US. Jermaine Jones is a walking card. He really is. He runs around like a chicken with his head cut off and has no problem throwing a leg, an elbow, a body, whatever it is in someone's way. Now, that already makes him susceptible to picking up cards as is. Now, away in CONCACAF refs will just flat out make things up. There's no other way to put it. They're awful, and they will dole out cards if they're feeling like it. Jermaine Jones needs to be disciplined. The best way for the US to come away from Kingston with 0 points is to finish the match with 10 men. Last question, number 5. Who steps up in Landon Donovan's absence? The Galaxy midfielder, forward, whatever you're going to call him, he's injured. He's not playing in this match, and Clint Dempsey isn't going to be at 100%, so who steps up? Now, could it be Szczerbowski? Could he be the guy who kind of breaks out and gives them something in the final third? It might be him. Could be a surprise at Graham Zusi or Joe Corona. If they get a chance, can they kind of give the US that spark they need in the final third? Now, maybe it's Josie Altidore. He's been playing very, very well for AZ for about a year now, but he hasn't really had that great match for the US in a while. Might he have it in this match? And keep an eye on Jose Torres. Now, he's just put in terrible match after terrible match for the US, but this might be the time he breaks out. He has the skills, nobody questions that. Is this the match where he kind of finds that last ball, that last attempt, and is able to go from skills to actually very good performer at the international level? The US is going to need somebody to do it. It's got to be somebody with Dempsey not at 100% and no Donovan. Somebody's going to need to step up or they're going to struggle to score goals. So you got to keep an eye on. Make sure you tune and watch the match Friday night. Also, follow along at Stars and Stripes FC and SB Nation Soccer.